but they failed to take it. Tottenham's Nick Barmby lasted only 40 minutes before limping off, and with Andy Myers of Chelsea soon following, England had used up both of their substitutes. Without them, though, and with the backing of a large English contingent, they still dominated the second half, but couldn't break the deadlock. The match went into sudden death extra time. The first goal would have settled it, and England almost snatched it through Chris Bart-Williams. But it went to penalties, and Mexico missed their first. England kept cool heads with 4 successful kicks, and Bart-Williams gave England a 4-3 lead. It meant Mexico had to score their last, but keeper David Watson pulled off a stunning save. The England fans celebrated a famous win, and they'll fancy their chances now against the Africans of Ghana in the semi-final.
A skillful, inventive football, but England had the better support. And a key role in this game was to be played by the Colombian referee Armando Perez. His view of this tackle by Chelsea's Ian Pearce left England with an early penalty against them, and David Watson, for once, left stranded. Then a quarter of an hour later, England's hopes really hit the rocks when Crewe's Tony Hughes was penalised for handball. The Ghanaians put together a complex build-up to the kick and a goal of great quality. So England needed a lifeline from the second half, and again it would come from the penalty spot. Chris Bart-Williams got himself in a tangle, enough for England to get a break of their own, and Jamie Pollock put the spot kick high and out of reach. England then went for bust at the close, pushed forward and put together their best move. Julian Joachim keeping the defender off his back, but hadn't got the power to outwit the goalkeeper. John Desborough, Sky.
The hero of the hour was Juan Stefano Muccioli, San Marino's young substitute keeper, who pulled off several fine, occasionally overly spectacular saves. Now that's the situation, Alan, and England are in Turkey at the end of the month.
Yeah, well, after watching that game, you would say that England wouldn't have that much to fear from Turkey, but it doesn't work like that.
With Hearts goalkeeper Nicky Walker and Aberdeen's Stephen Wright playing their first internationals. Germany, in contrast, have a vastly experienced lineup, including such stars as Matthaus, Klinsmann and Riedler. And the commentary comes from Jock Brown.
Klinsmann's head up, there's Bowman. McInally to Robertson. That's a good play by McInally. Robertson has Boyd breaking on the left. He's very quick indeed. The chance is on for Collins. It's a wonderful move from Scotland. Robertson using Bowman. Robertson again. Ferguson makes a run through the middle. Showing that very good touch on his left foot. McInally to Boyd. The cross is aimed for Duncan Ferguson. And a wonderful effort there from Ferguson. Brilliantly saved by Koepka. Well, that would have been one of the goals of any season this. Had it gone in, you see Ferguson there setting himself for the effort, and it's a wonderful save from the goalkeeper. Ferguson's head up. Robertson beaten to the ball by Kola. A miscue there by Levine. The opening goal for Riedler. Well, Levine will have nightmares about this, completely misjudging the flight of the ball. He didn't get a contact there, but Riedler certainly did. That's towards Duncan Ferguson. Well, he didn't catch the header exactly as he wanted, but he gets tremendous height in the leap here. No one else is getting to that ball, and he's played it too firmly downwards. Good running there by McInally. Here's Robertson. Well, perhaps the sweetest strike of the ball in that position in the Scottish side. Played forward there by Collins. In goes Irvin. And a wonderful save again from Koepka. Levine to Booth. That's a very good cross. The chance is on there inside the area for Irvin. Couldn't make contact. There goes Bowman. Back out to Tom Boyd, and the volley goes over. It was deflected. It'll be a corner kick to Scotland. Well, they deserve enormous credit for this grandstand finish. Can Scotland snatch a dramatic late equaliser? And it was Scott Booth attacking the ball. Well, the young striker almost making a real name for himself there. He's upset about that. Did so well to reach the ball as it was played across here by Collins. Such a determined challenge.
Daar komt de Wolf en daar is het. Nog steeds geen 1-0, nu wel. Doelpunt John van den Brom van Vitesse. Wouters. Eigen doelpunt. Ja, eigen doelpunt, een 2-0 voor Nederland. Meijer klimt en de Wolf. John de Wolf, jawel. 3-0 voor Nederland. Linker. Daar is John van den Brom. Wordt neergelegd. Penalty. Ja. De Boer. Doelpunt. 4-0. Ronald de Boer. Komen er nu uit op één lijn. Van Vossen vraagt. Dan niet buitenspel. Nu niet meer. Peter van Vossen. Daar is hij. Nummer 5. Jawel. Hij doet het weer. De Zeeuw. Dit is goed. Rob Witsche. Witsche. De Wolf. Ja hoor. Daar is nummer 6 van John de Wolf. 6-0 voor Nederland.
Welcome to Eurosport News. My name is Carlton Kirby. Well, Group 2 last night saw Holland taking on San Marino. The Dutch needed an awful lot of goals in order to make safe their challenge against England in Wembley. They needed to score more than 6, and they set about it early on. Jan van der Brom having 2 goes at the header, finally going in. Well, that was just after 2 minutes. Well, things got a bit slack, especially in the San Marino defence. Claudio Conti heading past his own goalkeeper, but the Dutch just could not pile in any more goals in the first half, and it was 2-0. Everyone beginning to think in Utrecht that disaster might be striking. An awful lot of the Dutch class act not there. Bosman, Jonk, Bergkamp, Gullit, Rijkaard and Van Basten all out. Well, that opened up room for this man, Jan de Wolf, only his second international. The first was in 1987, and he made it 3-0 just after the break. Well, tempers were fraying, not least amongst the San Marinos. A red card in the second half reduced their side to 10 and seemed to open up the floodgates for the Dutch. Ronald de Boer, the substitute, making it 4-0. And indeed, it was another substitute, Van Vossen, 5th goal in his 5th international game to put Holland 5-0 up. Well, as we say, the Dutch were hoping for more than 6 goals, but indeed on the night it was to be just 6. I say just 6. The San Marino side, of course, took their first point in internationals against Turkey with a 0-0 draw. So they were always, at least on paper, the possibility that there would be some surprises. The surprise was that only 6 went in against them. Jan de Wolf with his 2nd goal, and that's the way it stayed. Now the Dutch with it all to do against England, April 28th. And this is how Group 2, the World Cup qualifying rounds, are settling down at the moment. Norway on top with 7 points, having played 4, plus 13 goal difference. The Netherlands now over England with 7 points from 5 games. But England only played 3 matches. They've got 5 points, ready to pounce. The Dutch looking a bit wobbly on the way to the States. Well, no such quivers in the path of Italy. It was their 500th international in Palermo. They took on Malta. Dino Baggio, the man from Juventus, opening up from the free kick of Mancini. Baggio scored against Portugal last time. A decent record he's having. Well, a win for the Italians meant they only need to beat Scotland now. Giuseppe Signori, the man from Lazio, normally partners Paul Gascoigne, of course. 2-0. Viercourt with the header. The man from Sampdoria made it 3 after the break, coming off the corner. And Roberto Mancini, the other Sampdorian, was to get the first goal for the national side in 5 years. Mancini's record been a little slow. Often given a hard time by the national side. Plays a lot, doesn't score many for his country. But he was delighted to slot that one in. His first goal in 5 years, as we say. And then a penalty. Pagliuca, the Italian goalkeeper, brought down La Ferla, the Maltese. Got himself a booking in the process. Well, Busuttil stepped up and slotted it away. Pagliuca a little upset. Well, that was 4-1. Wasn't all lost. And Paolo Maldini of AC Milan. This shows why AC Milan went 58 games unbeaten. Deadly finishing. That was 5-1. And another goal for Roberto Mancini. A great night for him. He's probably still celebrating. Picking off the rebounded header. 6-1 then to the Italians. A great result for them. Bad news for Scotland indeed. Scotland last night were involved in a friendly match with Germany at Ibrox, which they lost 1-0. Let's take a look at Group 1. That 6-1 result for the Italians puts them top of the group. 8 points having played 5 games. Switzerland in second place with 7 points from 4. Scotland just 4 points having played 4 matches. Scotland then, next match is in Italy. Surely can't be favourites to take that one. It may be the end for the Scots. We'll just have to wait and see. And while all that was going on, a little earlier, in Limassol, 3,000 turned out to see Cyprus take on Czechoslovakia. A few more probably wish they'd gone along after this match. First goal for a still unified Slav team. Lubomir Moravecik. Tough game, great goal. Well, that was after 33 minutes. And everyone expected the floodgates to open for the Cyprus team, as they had with San Marino. But Cyprus were not overawed. 3,000 Cypriots going completely mad. Andros Soteriou with the equaliser, and that's the way it stayed. In fact, 10 years ago, almost to the day, it was Cyprus that put Czechoslovakia out of the qualification for the World Cup in Spain. Romania went through then, and it looks like Romania are going to go through again after this 1-1 draw. Let's have a look at Group 4. Belgium, 12 points from 6. Belgium's looking certain to they're probably already packing their bags for the States. Romania in second place. The Czech Republic, well, they must have been devastated after that 1-1 draw yesterday. It's not the Czech Republic, it's still Czechoslovakia. Apology for the caption. 4 points having played 4 games. Wales, Cyprus, Faroe Isles popping them up. And 2 international friendly matches last night, as we said. Scotland going down at home to Germany, the world champions.
So to the World Cup, Italy against Malta. A question of how many goals Italy in the blue would score. A lot was the answer. After 19 minutes, the first came from Dino Baggio. Juventus player opening the scoring. They had to wait, though, until 38 minutes, Italy, before they scored. The second came from Signori, top scorer in Italy with Lazio. And that was 2-0 at half-time. The goal's not flowing in immediately. Perhaps there's a bit of irritation in the crowd. Malta, though, improving themselves, quite adept at keeping out Italy in the first half. 3 minutes so into the second half, they again succumb, though. Signori ready to deliver the ball. And Viekhawad making it 3-0. Everyone seemed highly delighted. Coach, as always, keeps his thoughts very close to his chest, but he must have been delighted with Mancini's first goal in 5 years in the national team. Such a good player, and really handed that goal by the goalkeeper. And very much the same thing was happening at the other end of the field. Pagliuca giving away a penalty and a chance for Malta to open their account in this game. And Busatil does so to make the score 4-1. Not quite a romp now, as it appeared to be. Italy, though, swept forward. And just 2 minutes later, Maldini made it 5-1. And into the final minute of the game, and Mancini, who hadn't scored in 5 years in international football, was just about to get on the end of his second. And what a goal it was. Great defending, but a convincing 6-1 victory for Italy. And that's how the table looks. Italy and Switzerland looking pretty good at the moment for their place in the World Cup in America. Scotland have got an awful lot to do, like winning their last remaining matches. And Portugal also look like they're going to be left outside of the World Cup. Scotland with such a proud record of qualifying. But your ideas up. So again, Netherlands and against San Marino, this in England's group. And the opening goal, you've got to laugh at these, haven't you? Van der Brom, who we saw earlier playing for his club, opening the scoring in his second international, his first start in fact for his country. Played once as a substitute, and that was just after 3 minutes. San Marino, having conceded 6 against England and 10, of course, against Norway on their travels. Not the world's best travellers, and any reports about them going to the red light district, I'm sure that they would defend even if Kanti did score an own goal after 29 minutes. Into the second half, again, the goal's not flowing early on, but San Marino getting tired as the game went on. De Wolf, Halford in the air, making it 3-0, 53 minutes gone. Victory in this game, of course, would take the Netherlands above England in the group. And Van der Brom brought down, and giving on his debut, Ronald de Boer the chance to score his first goal for his country, and that made it 4-0. Last 12 minutes of the game, and still Netherlands looking for important World Cup goals. Van Vossen making it 5-0. And with 7 minutes remaining, the scoring was completed with De Wolf scoring his second of the game, 6-0 the final score. And in the context of the group, important goals they were for the Netherlands, who've played more games than England, who of course played Turkey this week. And Norway now find their lead has evaporated, even if they have played fewer games than Netherlands. And of course there's still Poland to come into the equation, having played only 2 games. But despite all the goals going in the games featuring San Marino and Malta, Cyprus showing that really there are no easy sides if they do want to put up a determined performance. Czechoslovakia found that despite a stunning opening goal, Moravcik making it 1-0 after 33 minutes. Czechoslovakia, of course, got a proud tradition in European football, not having it quite so easy these days. And certainly just into the second half, Sotorio levelled the scores, and a well-earned point it was for Cyprus. And Belgium can qualify in their next game. And I won't mention who it's against. Romania in second place, and then Czechoslovakia and Wales well down, and they've got a lot to do to qualify. Important game, Austria against France, who are looking for their 4th successive victory in the World Cup campaign. Austria, though, nearly opening the scoring, just the thickness of the post depriving them. And in the end, they got caught out by some quick thinking work. Gravelin on the ball, the run by Jean-Pierre Papin, timed to perfection, and he does everything right. That turned out to be the only goal of the game after 58 minutes. And France now looking pretty good for a place in the World Cup finals in America. Papin so good in that sort of situation, 1-on-1 on the keeper. And another vital victory for the French side, missing Eric Cantona because of suspension. So there you go, France won their last 4 games and contesting place with Bulgaria and Sweden. Really looks like it's going to be between those 3 teams. Well, that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Eurogoals. I look forward to your company at the same time next week on Eurosport. For myself, David Smith, I wish you goodbye.
Well, welcome to Eurosport News. It was a big night of World Cup football tonight, and we start in qualifying Group 1, where Switzerland were at home to Portugal. The Swiss hoping to win to keep up the pressure on group leaders Italy, and of course to move further away from 3rd place Scotland. Well, they'll have been happy with the start they got in the first half. 39 minutes of the match had gone when Stefan Chapuisat, who plays for Borussia Dortmund in Germany, poked in that little header to make it 1-0 with 6 minutes to go in the first half. So the stadium in Bern happy, but Portugal were to get level before half-time. Again, the goal came from a header. It was from the Porto player Semedo with just 1 minute left in the first half. And indeed, that was the final score in Bern this evening. 1-1 between Switzerland and Portugal. All of which means that Switzerland now take the lead of World Cup qualifying Group 1. They are level on points with Italy, both teams having played 5 matches. But Switzerland have a greater goal difference. They have scored 3 goals more than Italy. Scotland are on 4 points in 3rd place. In Group 2 this afternoon, England travelled to Turkey looking for a good win to send them to the top of the group ahead of Norway and the Netherlands. Well, England also got a great start. That foul on Ian Wright after 6 minutes led to a free kick, and it was John Barnes of Liverpool who stepped up to take it. Barnes standing in for the injured Les Ferdinand, and with a header it was David Platt of Juventus scoring his 17th goal for England. Platt, if you remember, scored 4 against San Marino earlier this month. That was a great start for England, 1-0 up after just 6 minutes. Well, Platt was very active in the first half. He may have got another towards the end of the half, but just coming into contact with goalkeeper Engin. Indeed, Engin picking up a nasty injury to his left arm in that clash with David Platt. The ball going out for a corner, but the Turkish goalkeeper injured, and indeed he picked up a further injury to that left arm, indeed aggravated the original injury in that little clash with Tony Adams from the corner. Engin eventually going off and being replaced by Hayrettin. So at this point, just 2 minutes left in the first half, and it looked as if it was going to be 1-0 to England at half-time. That was counting without Paul Gascoigne of Lazio running on well to that long ball forward from Ian Wright. Gascoigne particularly happy with his goal, and when he might be, that meant that England went in 2-0 at half-time. Well, Gascoigne in action also in the second half. Not quite getting on the score sheet at that time. And indeed, the final score between England and Turkey in Izmir this afternoon, 2-0. And that's what that result does to the Group 2 standings. England still in second place, but they're now level on points with Norway, both teams having played 4 games. The Norwegians having scored 1 more goal, their goal difference is better. The Netherlands are in 3rd place. It now looks as if the 2 qualifying places will be decided between those 3 teams. In Group 3 earlier this evening, European champions Denmark played host to Spain, the group leaders. Denmark were lying 4th before this match, and they would have been looking for a win, but it was Spain who had the early chances. Schmeichel there keeping out Julio Salinas after 10 minutes. But Denmark got the much-wanted goal. It came after 19 minutes. Flemming Poulsen, the man running through the Spanish defence to put the ball away. 1-0 the score to Denmark at that point, and indeed that was to be the final score. The Danes picking up a useful home win against the group leaders Spain in Copenhagen this evening. And that result moves Denmark up to 3rd place. They jump above Northern Ireland, who lost to the Republic this afternoon. The Republic winning 3-0 with goals from Townsend, Quinn and Staunton. Spain still lead the group. It looks like it'll be a battle now between those top 3 for the 2 qualifying places. They were also playing in Group 4 this evening, where Belgium lost their 100% record in Cardiff. Wales winning 2-0 through first half goals from Ryan Giggs and Ian Rush. Belgium now leading the group. They still look to be well on their way to qualification. The second place will be a battle between Romania and Wales. And they're also playing in Group 5 this evening, where Greece beat Hungary after a goal from Apostoliakis. Greece also now look well on their way to qualifying. That will be for the first time in their history. Russia are favourites to take the other qualifying place. So on with the news, and it was a big night of World Cup football last night, and we start in qualifying Group 1, where Switzerland were at home to Portugal, the Swiss hoping to win to keep up the pressure on group leaders Italy and move further away from third place Scotland. So the Swiss would have been very happy with the way things went after 39 minutes. Stefan Chapuisat, who plays in Germany for Borussia Dortmund, sneaking in with a lovely low header, making it 1-0 for the home side. A fine opening goal from Chapuisat, but the Portuguese weren't out of the match. They played well in the first half, and they were to draw level with just 1 minute left to go in the opening half. It was Semedo also scoring with a header, the FC Porto player making it 1-1 at half-time, and indeed 1-1 the final score. A disappointing result for Switzerland. Portugal may be happy to take a point home. And that's how things look in Group 1 now after that 1-1 draw. Switzerland now leading on goal difference from Italy. Scotland are 4 points back in third place. Scotland travel to Portugal on the 28th of April. Switzerland will be at home to Italy on the 1st of May. It looks like the big game will be between Scotland and Switzerland in Scotland on the 8th of September. In Group 2, England travelled to Izmir to take on Turkey. Graham Taylor's men knowing that a win by 4 goals would take them into the lead of the group above Norway and the Netherlands. So England would have been very happy with their start. A foul on Ian Wright after 5 minutes down the right side wing. It was John Barnes of Liverpool taking the free kick, and David Platt of Juventus sneaking in with a header. An excellent start for England, 1-0 up after just 6 minutes. It was a nice curling free kick from Barnes, who had come in for the injured Les Ferdinand of Queen's Park Rangers. And England had chances to go further ahead, but the main incident in the first half after that goal was the injury to Engin, the Turkish goalkeeper. He injured his left arm. He went off and he was replaced by Hayrettin. And then on 45 minutes, England were to go further ahead. A long ball forward by Paul Ince of Manchester United. Paul Gascoigne running in well between 2 defenders. A fine header by Gascoigne. 2-0 the score at that point. England took a 2-0 lead into the half-time break. And indeed, there was to be no further score in the second half, so 2-0 the final score. England taking home the points from Turkey. And that's how they stand in Group 2. England winning 2-0 in Turkey. They join Norway on 7 points, but the Norwegians leading on goal difference from both England and the Netherlands. The next 2 games for England will be essential. They play at home to Holland on the 28th of April. England surely need to win that one. And then they travel to Poland on the 29th of May, while Norway will travel to Holland on the 9th of June. In Group 3, European champions Denmark played host to Spain, who were the group leaders. Denmark were lying 4th before this match, and they would have been looking for a win, but it was Spain who had the early chances. Schmeichel there keeping out Julio Salinas after 10 minutes. But 19 minutes had gone when Denmark got onto the score sheet. The Spaniards failing to clear, and Flemming Poulsen sneaking through 2 defenders and beating Zubizarreta to make it 1-0. Well, the Danes would maybe have hoped for further goals, but that was the way things ended. So 1-0 the score for Denmark over Spain in Copenhagen last night. In the same group, the Republic of Ireland in second place took on their neighbours from the north, who were level with them on 6 points, having played 1 more game. Well, the score the last time these 2 teams met in the World Cup in Dublin was 3-0 for the Republic, and they got off to a nice start after 18 minutes. Andy Townsend of Chelsea opening with a rare right-footed shot. And just 2 minutes later, the Irish were further ahead. Paul McGrath starting off a fine six-man move that also included Ray Houghton, and it was Niall Quinn of Manchester City with a nicely taken right foot shot, making it 2-0. Just 20 minutes of the match gone, and the Irish off to a flying start. Quinn beautifully in front of his man, and things were to get better. This corner from Steve Staunton after 29 minutes. Beating all the Northern Irish defence. In it went, 3-0 the score for the Republic. They would also probably have hoped for more goals in the second half, but it wasn't to be. And 3-0 the final score in Dublin yesterday. The Republic of Ireland taking the points over their neighbours from the north. All of which means that Spain, despite their defeat in Denmark, remain the group leaders. They have played 2 games more than the Republic, though. The Republic 1 point behind, and Spain have a greater goal difference for the moment. Denmark in 3rd place. The big matches to come on the 28th of April. The Republic will be at home to Denmark, while Spain will play host to Northern Ireland. In Group 4 in Cardiff last night, Wales brought an end to Belgium's fine 100% record. Wales winning 2-0 with first half goals through Ryan Giggs and Ian Rush. Rush is 24th, and that a Welsh record. So Belgium still lead the group, Romania is second and Wales third. It looks like it'll be a battle between Romania and Wales for that extra qualifying place. Wales travel to Czechoslovakia on the 28th of April. Join us after this short break. And welcome back. In World Cup qualifying Group 5 last night, the leaders Greece made what looked to be a dangerous trip to Budapest to take on third-placed Hungary. Well, the Greeks playing in blue have certainly surprised a lot of people in this group, and they would maybe have been happy to take home the point in just a draw from Budapest last night, but they had a lucky break after 70 minutes, no score through the first half. The referee deciding that was handball, and up stepped Apostolakis to put in the penalty. 1-0 the score for Greece, and that indeed is the way things ended. An excellent result for the Greeks in Budapest last night, still well on the road to qualifying for their first ever World Cup finals. Indeed, Greece now well out in front in the group. They've played 5 matches and have 9 points. Russia, though, are still favourites to win the group. However, 2 still go through from it. It's been reduced to 5 teams after the exclusion of Yugoslavia. On the 28th of April, Russia will be at home to Hungary. And on the 20th of May, Russia will be at home to Greece. That looks to be a very interesting match. And welcome back. The CONCACAF World Cup qualifying section has moved into its final group phase, and yesterday Honduras played host to Canada, both nations playing their first match in this new phase. But it was the Canadians who were to be first on the score sheet. 34 minutes of the match had gone when goalkeeper Rivera pulled down Pesci Solido, and it was Dale Mitchell who stepped up to take the penalty. 1-0 for the visitors. But Honduras themselves were to be awarded a penalty after 41 minutes. The foul by Watson on Flores. Again, a penalty was awarded, and it was Rodolfo Smith who stepped up to make the scores 1-1 at half-time and send the local crowd into raptures. Well, the local commentator also rather happy with the way things were going, but he would have been quietened down slightly after 68 minutes as Alex Bunbury scored for Canada. That made it 2-1, and indeed it looked as though Canada were to take the points. But a foul on Calix by Watson after 89 minutes led to yet another penalty, and Cesar Obando made it 2-2 in the dying seconds, and that indeed the final score. And that's how the group looks now. El Salvador leading the group. They beat Mexico 2-1. Canada second, Honduras third and Mexico fourth. The top team will eventually be qualified and the second will be involved in a playoff.
Welcome to Eurosport News. My name's Carlton Kirby. New stadium in Trieste, the venue for Italy in their Group 1 World Cup qualifier with Estonia. Well, after 22 minutes, Roberto Baggio of Juventus opened up with his 17th international goal, back pass from Signori. And everyone, including a happy crowd of 35,000 in the new stadium, were hoping for a deluge of goals. It didn't come. In fact, they had to wait until 3 minutes from the end. Signori, the man from Lazio, always seems to score when Gazza's not in the side. Top scorer in Italy, slotted it away, but 2-0 the score. The Italian press not very happy at all. They said that after Baggio's goal, they'd sat on their laurels. Well, you can't argue with the points. 10 having played 6. They top Group 1 at the moment. Although Switzerland could overtake them on a better goal difference. They play Malta at the weekend, so it could be the Swiss back on top. Scotland currently in third. Denmark here in the red. Also expected to have an easy time of things, this time against Latvia playing in the white. Denmark, of course, European champions, but it was 0-0 at half-time. A great surprise to many. Kim Vilfort opening up after 68 minutes in the Edorats Parken Stadium in Copenhagen. The goals, although a long time coming. Substitute Mark Strudel produced a beauty. Been on the pitch just 6 minutes. 2-0 the final score. Denmark currently topping Group 3 ahead of Spain. Meanwhile, the battle of the minnows, if you like. Lithuania playing in green against Albania in Vilnius. Baltus Nikas after 20 minutes for Lithuania. Albania, one of the better of the smaller nations in Europe at one time, certainly showing none of the qualities of old that they'd been remembered for. Sukristovas, a man who plays in Tel Aviv, slotting one in just inside the right-hand post. 5 minutes after the first. 2-0 then, going into the break. After the turnaround, Baranuskas made it 3-0. Before then, though, Dimar sent off for that foul. Blatant, to say the least. And here comes Baranuskas' goal. Lithuania, of course, without Friedrichs, who plays for Austria Vienna. Apparently, Lithuania refused to pay the insurance money on this game, so Austria Vienna refused to let their man go. 3-0 at this stage then. Albania pushing hard to try and get something out of the match. In 4 minutes from time, they did indeed pull one back. Demolari, who plays for Dynamo Bucharest, making the score Lithuania 3, Albania 1. And Group 3, there it is. Spain on top with 9 points from 7 games. Denmark behind them with 9 from 6. Ireland, well, the big game coming up in just 2 weeks' time. Denmark and Ireland could be the decider of this group, Group 3. Lithuania in 4, and they're the rest of them. Meanwhile, in Group 4, Bucharest, the venue. 30,000 turned up to this one. Romania taking on Cyprus. And it was the Cypriots who stole the show early on. 23 minutes, Sotiriou, the man who scored against Czechoslovakia, popped one home here just before the break. Dumitrescu, a player from Steaua Bucharest, third in the table there, slotted it in just inside the right-hand post. 1-1 into half-time. 11 players in this Romania squad playing here in the yellow. Playing for foreign clubs, but welcomed warmly by the 30,000 crowd. Dumitrescu once again. The pass from Hagi. 2-1, the final score. Cyprus's luck just not holding, unlike that match with Czechoslovakia, which they drew surprisingly 1-1 in Cyprus. These, how they stand in Group 4. Belgium on top ahead of Romania. Belgium looking absolutely unbeatable. 12 points having played 7. Romania in second place. Wales, well, still got a hope. Pretty slim one. 6 points from 5. Welcome back. The packed night of World Cup action continued in Luxembourg. Just 3,000 in the national stadium. Saw Luxembourg take on Russia here in white. Well, Russia obviously didn't need the crowd. 4-0 it ended. Sergei Kiriakov with the first goal after 11 minutes. Luxembourg did well to keep it at just 1-0 until the break. After which, disastrous error early on gave Kiriakov another off the pass of Yuran. Well, they couldn't believe it. Seems to be a miss hit, but they all count. Shalimov, the man from Inter Milan. Kornaev, the provider, slotting him through nicely. And with finishing like that, it was going to be a bad night for the Luxembourg fans. Russia, along with Sweden, the only team not to have dropped a point in the European rounds of the World Cup qualifiers, and they were certainly not looking as though they were going to do anything so silly on this night. Kulkov with the last. Rain and wind dampening the spirits of the lowly crowd, but certainly not the Russians. Luxembourg 0, Russia 4. There, the Group 5 standings. Greece on top. Surprise leaders, 9 points having played 5. Russia in second place, so 6 points from 3. This, of course, the group that should have had Yugoslavia within it, which would have made things a little more difficult for the likes of Greece. But that's the way it is. In Vienna, a few more people turned up to this one. Austria versus Bulgaria. Austria had a disastrous run of form of late. Their best period in the late 70s, early 80s, long forgotten, but a glimpse of what might be in the future on display in this Group 6 match against Bulgaria. Austria in white opening up after 11 minutes. Pfeffenberger, a man from Austria Salzburg, the league leaders in Austria, 1-0. Well, it was 2 into the break. Dietmar Kuber with the second. Watch this. Well, nobody knew if it took a deflection. Looked clean to me. The goalkeeper couldn't hold it. Indeed, that was one of the goals of the evening. Bouncing unkindly just in front of the Bulgarian goalkeeper. After the turnaround, Ivanov pulling one back for Bulgaria, who are the red-hot favourites in this match. Stoichkov, the man who plays for Barcelona, with a disastrous evening of football for him. Well, when Bulgaria pull one back, our commentary team and many of the crowd, as you can hear, whistling their heads off, really thought Bulgaria were going to get right back into this match. This was on 54 minutes. But it wasn't to be. Tony Polster with this inspired goal, going through everyone, dodging the tackle, slotting it home to perfection. A better goal even than Kubar's. Fabulous. Just take a look at this again. Weaving his way beautifully. In comes the tackle. Misses it with one foot, slots it away with the other. Lovely stuff. So let's take a look at Group 6. France on top with 8 points, having played 5. Sweden in second place with 6 from 3. Bulgaria with 6 from 5. And, well, Austria's hopes of qualifying still extremely thin indeed, only a mathematical possibility, but some heart gained from that 3-1 win over Bulgaria. Other World Cup news, the Africa Zone Group A. This replayed game because of fighting when Egypt beat Zimbabwe 2-1. The replay ended 0-0. Bruce Grobbelaar for Zimbabwe was apparently absolutely outstanding. Egypt paying the price for that crowd trouble. They are out. Zimbabwe go through to Group C in the second round. Their first game will be against Cameroon.